Your Majesty, members of the royal court, may I welcome you to the capital of my new kingdom, Robotropolis, a city of the future. Any final words for your subjects, sire?
You can't win this, Julian.
The name is no longer Julian. From this day forward, I am Robotnik.
It was an uneasy day at the Mario Brothers plumbing shop. Luigi was already having a rough day, having to handle everything himself. All those plungers, wrenches, and screwdrivers he made were not as good as the ones that his brother Mario had made when the business ran better. Luigi had already cut himself while building a new screwdriver. Trying very hard, he took things patiently and kept going. But he soon became nervous when Christopher Thorndyke stood at his door. He watched Luigi continue his business as the plumber grew uneasy when Chris began to stand right behind him. "You seem to be having trouble. Need assistance?"
No, thank you. I can prove to Mario that I can do this without him.
But don't you miss him? He had to return to the Mushroom Land and leave you behind to carry on the plumbing business. Don't you want him back?
I wish. But let me tell you, once you step foot into the Mushroom Land, you'll never be the same again. That mushroom aroma can really make a guy go crazy, or lean off to whatever adventure awaits. If there is one.
I kind of feel that way. I miss joining Sonic and whatever else is going on, whether it be battling Eggman or not.
Hold it! Hold it! Remember that part of the Mobius you made a while ago?
My grandfather was the brains behind the science. I finished it for him and tested it. I remember using it to enter Mobius, 6 years after Sonic went back to his home. The only problem was that it decreased my age as I entered the realm. Time on Mobius goes slower than it does here on Earth. 2 months in Mobius means 6 years here. Luckily, once I got back to Earth, I was my mature self again, so that should tell you that there are hazards for something like that.
Hey, what about the egg timer that Dr. Eggman created? It brought his younger self to the present, so why can't we use a little power from there? It is possible to combine it with the portal, right?
As crazy as that sounds, I'd like to see that happen myself. Alright, I'll give it a shot. Later, Christopher led Luigi to his mansion, where the special portal still stood in his laboratory. Dr. Eggman had left his egg timer in Chris's lab after he had used it for its purpose. Chris was able to connect the correct wires that led from the Mad Genius's contraption to his portal. Perhaps it would allow him to enter Mobius and keep his current age. Everything looks to be in order. I set the correct coordinates, and yet I still have my doubts that this will work.
Don't lose hope too soon. Let's do this. Yahoo! It worked! We're here! And we're unaffected!
If only Helen was here to see this. She would surely love the beauty of this realm. The Earth is our home sweet home.
Ah, yes, but Sonic shouldn't be far. Let's go find him.
Meanwhile, many miles away, the evil scientist Dr. Eggman witnessed his 2 comrades, Wario and Waluigi, in a strategic game of chess.
It doesn't look like he's interested anymore.
I am. It's just that I'm also trying to think at the same time of a new stratagem against Sonic and those freedom fighters.
Why think about it alone? You can't do anything without us. We were so close to succeeding the last time we joined forces. Why don't you play the next game and improve your mind? What there is of it.
You fool! Was that a purposeful insult?
Just saying.
I am a genius with an IQ of 300!
But a close inspection on the chessboard suddenly stopped Eggman where he was, as a new idea hatched in his brain.
The way each side of the board is set in a very unique way. Imagine my robots guarding a new fortress as heavily fortified as a true medieval castle. With you two as my bishops, and I, the king! What an inspiration it is! All robots, begin construction of the new fortress!
Later, at Knothole Village, Tails sat on his bed, thinking nervously about the idea he had not too long ago. Courtney, princess of the deceased realm of Corlin, had been hiding under his bed every night ever since she had left her former master, Prince Cobra of Strago. She had no place to go but here. Tails had not yet told anyone about the story, about how he met Courtney after she ran away from the threatening one. He at first thought it would be a brilliant idea to take her in, if she could take the Freedom Fighter Oath. But he had forgotten the oath, and he could not access the private files which contained it. The correct document was locked in Sally Acorn's room, and there it would stay out of the enemy's hands. Tails began to wait until the proper day, when he would fully introduce Courtney to his fellow freedom fighters. Perhaps then would be when Sally would bring out the important document in which the oath was contained. Tails could not keep this a secret for long.
What do you want, Sonic?
I just came in here to wish my little bro goodnight.
Please don't suffocate her! I'm sorry. I kept this a secret this whole time.
I knew something was up. You've been hiding someone here this whole time.
Please don't tell Sally. She won't understand.
Hey, quit worrying, Tails. Everything will be just fine. Your friend only needs to take the Freedom Fighter Oath and she'll be one of us. Why didn't you ask for it before?
But I've forgotten the oath. How will I know?
Relax, Tails. Sally and I will handle things. Now, perhaps if your friend can finally come out from under there...
I'm here.
So there you are. Tails, you should have said something before. You'll both be fine, I promise. Good night.
After Sonic left that room, he saw Luigi and Christopher enter the village. He greeted them warmly, rejoining forces that stood against Dr. Eggman and foiled his schemes.
This isn't all that they came here for. I'm also looking for my bro, Mario. Feel like he's left you behind? Life at the plumbing shop just isn't the same without him. You can't call it the Mario Bros without both bros in the picture. Well, come on in for a surprise.
Sonic led the two men into the main dining hall of the small village, where at the table sat the man Luigi had searched for.
Mario! You're here too?
Princess Peach allowed me to leave the Mushroom Land for this particular mission. Sonic needs my help investigating the new fortress Dr. Eggman has been constructing lately. I'm glad you came to join us, Luigi.
Hey, what can I do without my little big brother?
I see you're still one of a kind.
Back at Dr. Eggman's fortress, an intruder had broken into the private area where the mad genius kept his best projects. The diabolical Prince Cobra approached the portal that Eggman had forgotten about for all these years until now.
Somebody stop him! He's about to use my portal that leads to the Zone of Silence!
Is that bad?
I threw the former king of Mobius in there at the end of the Great War. The memories are coming back to me now.
No matter how long it takes, Julian, I will stop you.
Courageous words, sire. But where you're going, that won't be possible. Open the void. Impressive, don't you think? Be sure to give Naugus my regards. He's the sorcerer who invented it, and, your new neighbor. Safe journey, sire.
You'll regret this, Julian! You'll regret this!
Now that intruder is using the portal for his own purpose!
Oh no! Shoot him down!
Quick as a fox, Cobra entered the portal and quickly shut its doors to prevent anyone from following him and interfering with his mysterious plot. His eyes first caught sight of the wizard known as Ixis Naugus, who had been Dr. Eggman's mentor back in the days of the Great War on Mobius.
What do you want with me?
I wish to speak to His Majesty. Will you please take me to him?
Are you mad? No one may leave this void. He who leaves will be crystallized, if no return is done in time.
I am no weakling like the rest of you mortal Mobians. I demand to see the king now. I have an offer you would want to hear.
Naugus led Cobra through the void to find the one he had sought. They finally found the very king of Mobius. They found King Maximillian Acorn.
This strange man insists upon seeing you.
Leave us. Your Royal Highness, it is an honor to meet you at last.
Who are you?
I am Cobra, Prince of Strago, and I come to be of assistance to you. If you assist me, I will reward you handsomely by giving you what is rightfully yours. I will give you back your kingdom, your throne, and your loved ones, like your daughter. I also guarantee that you will have your revenge upon your former friend, Julian Cantober.
How do you know all this? How do I know I can trust you?
I have just the correct Stragon potion that can prevent us from being crystallized. You must help me track down one person of interest to me. The Corlonian girl Courtney was once my apprentice, until she betrayed me and sided with the enemy. She must be disposed of. If you help me hunt her down, I will hand you back your kingdom, as promised.
Well, if you are willing to do so, I demand you give me the potion now.
Absolutely.
After drinking the potion, King Max followed Cobra out of the void and back into Eggman's lab. The three wacky mustached villains stood by in shock, seeing how easy it was for one to enter and exit the zone of silence, with no consequences.
Give us one of your ships. The king needs proper transportation.
Eggman allowed Cobra and Max to pass through the halls and head for the hangar. As they walked past the mad scientist, Max did not recognize him at all. How things had changed so much ever since Eggman's Doomsday Project had been destroyed, along with Robotropolis.
Sonic and Sally won the first round with the Power Stones. And he and Christopher won round 2 with the Chaos Emeralds. But now, this is round 3. And it is going to be a whole lot tougher of a challenge for him. My sworn enemy.
Cobra and Max later arrived at Knothole Village, where many familiar memories came to the mind of he who was once the mighty monarch of Mobius.
I remember this village.
Indeed. I'm well aware that, years ago, your wife left your daughter and her fellow freedom fighters here.
Rosie, is she still alive?
None can say, I'm afraid. Come, I will help you find your daughter. You can find her at least.
Inside Tails' room, Courtney overheard what was happening outside. She crawled out from under Tails' bed and looked out the window to see who had once kept her as an apprentice.
Oh no! What is it? Who's out there?
The one man whom I fear.
Cobra is out there?
Yes. I don't know how he found me.
You shouldn't be afraid now, Courtney. My friends can help drive him out. But who's that other guy with him? He kinda reminds me of someone.
See that crown on his head? He must be of authority.
Did the king come back? Sally!
Shh, get down!
Sorry.
I hate to do this, but I'm going out there to fight him alone.
What?
I'm sorry, but you can't come with me. I don't want anything happening to you.
You can't go out there alone. That's gonna worry me even more.
I don't want to be responsible for anything that might happen to you. I need you here where you can be safe. Please, Tails. If anyone's going to make a sacrifice, it's going to be me. I'm doing this to protect you.
That name. He mentioned my daughter. I'm getting closer.
We've talked enough now. Courtney!
It's been a long time. I know you want to strike at me so badly. Go ahead, but you will not harm these innocent people.
Innocent! Don't make me laugh. You're just as guilty as my father.
Tails watched the fight from up in his hut. His eyes widened in horror as Cobra already reached closer to gaining the upper hand. Cobra's sharp sword cut Courtney in every way possible. Courtney tried very hard to strike back with whatever she had, but she was not as skilled as she was before. Her love for the innocent and for Tails seemed to have changed her fighting abilities.
She does not remember the techniques I trained her in. This makes things easier for me, but I must stand by for the king's sake first. Now, your majesty, finish her!
Cobra handed Max his sword to finish the job. Doing such an act would end the race of the Corlonians. Max was ready to plunge the sword down and do what Cobra had prepared for him to do.
Stop! Don't hurt her!
A two-tailed fox. Could he be little Miles, son of Amadeus? He's grown up so fast. If he finds Courtney as his friend, then something must be out of place here. I just stood there, watching Cobra beat the innocent girl. Perhaps he is the real enemy, fibbing only to fulfill his desire and leave me with nothing. It was a trick.
What are you doing? You're supposed to be my ally!
No! Evil one! You deceived me! I demand you leave now, monster!
You will pay for your stubbornness.
I am terribly sorry about your friend. I did not know what Cobra had brought me into at first. You're what stopped me from performing the rest of the evil act. You're the son of Amadeus Prower.
I never met my dad my whole life. But my friends take care of me now. Sonic, Sally, and the others have done their best, and they still did great about it today.
I knew I could count on my little girl. Show me. I must see her.
Sure. But I should also introduce you to some new friends.
That night, Courtney was placed in the medical room of the village, where she took the Freedom Fighter oath and became part of the greatest Mobian fighting team. As for Sally, she was moved to tears when she reunited with her father. Thus, the kingdom of Mobotropolis was soon to be rebuilt. The next morning, Sonic called a meeting for a battle plan against Dr. Eggman's new fortress.
Does Julian still have that insane mustache of his?
Still insane and still laughable. Alright. So, what's the beef? Since Eggman has made himself that new fortress, this calls for a game I like to call Castle Conquest. I'll take Sally with me up to the top where the main control room is, and there we'll dismantle all communications. With the main radio and security cameras knocked out, the SWAT bots won't be able to receive orders from Eggman. And after the rest of you clear the front entrance, head up to the control room and meet us there so we can take Eggman away. Sound good?
Primitive, compared to how the battle plans of the Great War were organized. But for now, anything goes.
I say it sounds amazing either way. I'll be joining my bro Mario. He's been my mother my whole life.
Hey!
Sorry. He's been my father my whole life. My father, my uncle, my cousin, my brother, everybody.
You tell me, what is this true relation between you two?
It's a long story. Anyway, while we're breaking through the front gate, it would only be fitting that you lead us, Your Majesty. The king rightfully leads his army into battle.
Thank you, Mr. Mario.
Later that day, the banded freedom fighters approached the fortress of the evil genius. Eggman was prepared for the upcoming battle, knowing his scheme would not easily go down without a fight. He ordered the first wave of SWATbot pawns to march over the drawbridge he lowered for them, while Wario and Waluigi each commanded their own squads to curve around each side of the castle.
Attack!
These robots are merely cat's paws. I'd like to run right in there and see Julian face to face.
That you will. As long as there's no radio signal, these cat's paws won't know what to do next. Come on, Sal. We're headed for that Baldy McNose hair.
My, how history has changed. And Eggman has changed the most.
Undetected, Sonic and Sally climbed up the fortress walls by rope to make their way to the control room. Sonic went up a floor and ended his climb at a much higher level than the ladder, thanks to his superior speed. Sally, however, only made it halfway before she was suddenly interrupted by an unexpected sight. It looked like the figure of the blue hedgehog, but he held a pocket knife in hand.
Huh? Sonic, what are you doing?
Oh no!
She fell all that way down. Surely no one could survive a fall that far.
And to think, I could trust Sonic with my daughter. I'll personally arrange a punishment for him soon enough.
Her pulse is so faint. You have to take her back to the village now!
Meanwhile, inside the control room...
What's keeping Sally? She would have caught up to me by now.
Sonic! Why are you still here, when the rest of your gang is cowardly retreating?
Wait, what?
Look at them run like fools!
That's not a good sign. I'll be back!
We could have crushed him here and now where we had the chance. What's the matter?
As true as that is, I feel as if something else is going on around us. Let me think.
Later, at Knothole Village, grim shadows of darkness began to fall upon the freedom fighters as trouble brewed even more. This needs to be taken care of right away. She's sinking fast.
It's treachery, I tell you. Sonic has proven himself unworthy to be the true love of my daughter. Therefore, I hereby send him to his punishment, the death penalty.
What?
No! Please, no! Give him a chance!
He deserves no chance. He killed my daughter right before our very eyes. Geoffrey, take him away.
Right away, sir. Let's go, traitors! With a gesture of his hand, the king summoned Geoffrey St. John to bind Sonic's hands and escort him out of the hut along with Luigi. Your Majesty, you're making a big mistake.
Mistake? The only mistake I made was trust Sonic's loyalty.
Bullcrap, he knows better than what you're charging him for.
Get out of my sight! Perhaps Sonic has more respect for humans than his fellow Mobians.
I dare not argue with him. He may be of high authority here on Mobius, but I'll find some way to free Sonic and Luigi. Wait a minute, did I just say... Why is Luigi being taken as well? Even the evil Eggman pondered the doubts of the situation, trying to unlock the mystery that lurked in the shadows.
This is getting weirder the more I think about it. Sonic, a traitor. That's not like him at all. I've known Sonic like I'm his father, even though I'm not.
So what do you suppose we do about this? Where do we get more clues?
Gentlemen, I think the best thing to do is find that one person who is most likely involved in the puzzling part of this enigma. Prince Cobra.
Meanwhile, Geoffrey brought Sonic and Luigi aboard his new ship, in which he would transport the two to an execution area among the remains of Mobotropolis.
Man, why did everyone just stand there and let Geoffrey escort us? We gotta find a way to break out of this mess and make things right.
Back at Knothole Village, Mario brooded over the sudden departure from Luigi. He had such a good brother by his side. Now it seemed they were to be separated for good.
What bothers you?
You should know.
Does it concern your friend?
He's more than a friend. He's my brother. We come from a long line of plumbers. We took over the family business when he was old enough. I've had that guy with me until now. Today is the day when we finally split apart. There goes my only brother.
That is strange. I do not recall giving him the sentence as well.
Wasn't it on your orders?
I didn't order Geoffrey to take him to the execution. Yet, I recall glimpsing at an unrecognizable emblem printed on his ship.
Suddenly, 3 intruders emerged, carrying the unconscious body of a Stragon. Eggman, Wario, and Waluigi had knocked Prince Cobra out cold during a battle that occurred merely minutes beforehand.
This is my lucky day! And now, you pesky animals. I shall finish you off and put an end to your rebellion.
But this rebellion is about to take you full force!
Those are brave words, Max. But do you recognize me? I am the man whose weapons you disposed of. You were planning to destroy all my greatest works, and revenge was in my hands. I created the Dark Kingdom of Robotropolis. I am Julian Ivo Kentobar.
Julian! It is truly you. They were right. You've changed so much. But perhaps now is my chance to finish what was started years ago! Your skills are the same as when I last saw you, Julian.
Yes, I remember the days of the Great War. But you have been in the void for too long. You're losing your strength. You haven't fought as much as when I last saw you, old man.
In all the commotion, Cobra regained consciousness and took what seemed like an opportunity to slip away.
They won't see me coming. They will next see blood.
Go, Your Majesty. I'll hold Eggman off for you. Cobra might be the real brains behind Sonic's so-called betrayal.
That murderer! He cannot go unpunished!
King Max went outside the hut to find Cobra running out of the village. But the villain did not make it out in time, thanks to Bunny Rabbit tripping him with her roboticized arm.
You're not going anywhere without giving me the answers I need. Now tell me, what is the true scheme?
I see now that further resistance is useless. After you refused to kill Courtney, I wanted revenge. I made arrangements with St. John and 2 other Mobians. I told them that I would pay them fully if they successfully assassinated your daughter. One of them disguised herself as the Hedgehog and reached the top of Julian's fortress. Once the real Sonic was battling him in the control room, St. John came in and took him away, along with that plumber friend of his. But my victory was short-lived. Julian found me and defeated me in battle. Had he killed me, he most certainly would have taken the throne of Mobius for himself.
So you set this up from the start! You fooled me yet again, tricking me into sending Sonic to his punishment. That way, while you had killed Sally, I would have killed Sonic in return. Sonic and Luigi must not die!
And speaking of which, at the ruins of Mobotropolis, there's no hope for you now. Stole from me the one I love. Now you pay the price.
Quit lying! The game's been cheated! Also, Sally has a right to choose who her fidanzato is, and that man is Sonic!
Thanks, pal. Spoken nice and true.
Enough talk. Cobra's paid me handsomely to do this.
You'll have to catch us first. Up, over, and gone!
The whirlwind Sonic created with his constant speed was powerful enough to blow the spear out of Geoffrey's hand. The air vacuum also caused the skunk's lungs to fail him, as he begged for the proper air to breathe.
Hey, what's that spear? How ironic that he suffers a fate from his own weapon. I've got 2 voices in my head arguing whether or not he deserved it.
Whether he did or not, the village needs our help. Cobra might strike back any minute now. Or maybe even Eggman.
So, how do we get back to the village from here? We're too far from it now.
Hang on tight, Luigi. You're about to experience the feeling of way past cool.
Back at the village, Cobra finally issued a battle with the king himself.
If you will not abandon your deadly plan, then the power of Mobius will destroy you without mercy. Your intention is to murder, but what do you hope to gain from all this?
To gain my father's attention. It's hard just to get it. During the war between Strago and Corlin, I was falsely accused of treachery. My father was gullible. He listened to my brother, not me. You remind me of my father, caring only about what you want and taking away your daughter's freedom to choose. As such, you make yourself an unworthy king, just like my father. Your throne will be mine, and Strago will face my new power.
Seems like you've made yourself an unworthy son.
We shall see.
Looks like we made it in time.
I was hoping you two would return safely. I am terribly sorry you were put in this mess.
Think nothing of it. It was all a game of deception.
Cobra is out cold again. Now we must finish Julian.
Meanwhile, Mario and the other freedom fighters wrapped up their part of the battle against Dr. Eggman. Once he was floored along with Wario and Waluigi, the three wacky villains were tied up and ready to be sent to prison.
I bet your old friend will be asking you questions about your recent years with Sonic.
It's too long of a story. But no matter how long it is, I assure you, I'll have my revenge on that hedgehog one way or another.
After the battle was over and the evildoers sent to where they belonged, Christopher had discovered some incredible evidence about Cobra's attack. He informed Sonic immediately and told him the news.
I want you to know that there is still hope for that brave chipmunk.
Sally is still alive?
She is merely in a coma. She survived that fall only because her body is pliant, not a resistant armor like Eggman's robots.
If that's what you say, then I need to see her.
By all means.
Please come back, Sally. I need you.
Sonic? Then it wasn't you.
I promise. I'll never let anything like this happen again.
Christopher's portal opened up for him to enter Earth with Mario and Luigi. But before saying the last goodbyes, King Max had an idea. He summoned Sonic, Luigi, and Mario to kneel before him. He drew out his sword and gently touched it on each of their shoulders.
I now dub you Sir Sonic, Sir Luigi, and Sir Mario. Rise, my friends.
Thank you for your generous offer. We don't live here. Earth is where Luigi and I belong.
But we can always come back here again sometime. We can still fight side to side, just when duty calls.
Of course, my friends. We may yet have another adventure. If Cobra was to return and threaten our land once again, not all the swords in the universe can defeat him. But together, as a kingdom reunited, we may yet stand a chance against him.